I am dying. We're in the middle of reorganizing my entire closet. So that's going well. This is a fantastic angle right there. I kind of forgot what I was gonna say, so I'm just gonna waffle along as I go through. This is gonna be a bit more off ice. Wow, that's windy. This is gonna be a bit more off icy hack and more about my life. I feel like the entire series is just about like me rather than helping the new role. But anyways, it's good insight to have. It's very good insight to have, because if I'm sharing my personal experience, maybe someone can tell me where I went wrong with my life choices. So we're having some difficulties with the lanyards. I'm also trying to complete my coursework. Rosemary is busy ordering t-shirts, Via is doing some finance things and having a snack. Like, there's his snack, and there's the loaf of bread that we had at breakfast.
Alright.
Yeah, just being like, shit's going down. Or like, for us, it's gonna be like working really intently, just zoom in on him. Yeah.
Sounds good.
Why are you vlogging
This is
this?
the first fitted
Because the fucking bread.
He's like, oh, I got a snack and then put this bread down.
By this Thursday.
Yeah. I can finish every other design.
So meetings are going to continue, things are going to be ordered, and oh boy, there's going to be a lot of things being ordered, because lots of things are being ordered, which means a lot of scope for things to go wrong. So one of the first things we realized that was on the verge of going wrong was ordering custom lanyards. Now, we put in the order sometime around December, so like way before the deadline, and you know, plenty of time for it to come by. But then, sometime in December, they sent us a new invoice, and it said, oh, the delivery date would be 2 weeks after the hack. What? I think, yeah, that's mistake number one. Make sure to check all invoices properly, because once you've paid, it's much harder to hassle with the refunds and also try and cancel the order. That was one of our first sort of mishaps to go down. A lot of these you'll see is around branding, mainly because with branding there's a lot of special things being ordered, and of course it takes time for it to get prepped, to get customized, for it to be delivered. Or not delivered. I'd recommend ordering as soon as term starts. Don't wait to figure out, oh, should we order this? Should we order... No. If you feel like ordering it, do it. But also make sure you check with whoever's handling the budget, because we don't want to spend too much money. Another mishap that we kind of had was that we couldn't find a suitable supplier to print our t-shirts. So basically there are 4 kinds of roles during the day. You're either a participant, or a mentor, or a sponsor, or a volunteer. And all 4 of these have corresponding t-shirt colors and sizes. As you saw before on the volunteer schedule we filled out, I made a bit of a boo-boo. I didn't put an option for people to put down their t-shirt sizes. So we just had to go off a normal distribution curve, so that a lot of the t-shirts were mediums, a few extra larges, a few smalls. That would be mistake number 2. Make sure to do that next year, so that you have enough t-shirts and in the correct sizes for each of the volunteers. Because there are 4 different types of t-shirts, they also need to be different colors, because what is a hackathon without it being colorful? The first supplier that we went with, they were like, yeah, we have everything in stock. Then a week later, oh, we actually don't have this color in stock, but that's like the one color that we need a lot of. And they're like, yeah, we don't have it, we didn't check our systems properly. Then they were offering us an alternative color, which we weren't very happy with. So then Rose ended up having to search for yet another supplier. Because you see, when it comes to like searching for suppliers to buy things from, there's a good in-between when it comes to, you know, what kind of product they're offering us, as well as like the price. Because obviously you don't want to pay more for a t-shirt than is necessary. You can definitely find a supplier who is probably going to be half the price and includes deliveries, like fees in there and stuff. Which is why it's very important to like choose your supply carefully, depending on like how trustworthy they are, how quick they can get it delivered, as well as if they have the stock. So I think that's mistake number 3, which is check with your supplier. Call them up and be like, do you actually have this in stock? We need 100% guarantee on this. So apart from branding stuff, a lot of big expenditure is around meals for the day basically. Those are really, really hefty. But it's not just about making sure whether the suppliers are within our price point. It's also making sure that the suppliers can cater for a lot of dietary requirements. There needs to be something available for every single participant. And if not, then we should be able to get them something alternative on the day, because otherwise they're just going to starve the entire weekend, which isn't ideal. Along with that, we also need all of our food suppliers to fill out catering forms to just sort of specify what kind of ingredients they're using, or like what equipment they're using. So that is mainly required through the college to make sure that we are safely keeping food on premises, safely serving food, and so that there's no like cross-contamination and stuff like that, because we don't want anyone to die from a nut allergy because they ate the peanut salad because it was vegan. That would be like mistake number 4, 5. Mistake number 4 or 5, I lost count. We're leaving it a bit too late to fill out the catering request forms because the caterers need time to figure out the form. They need time to fill it in properly and make sure that they're accurate enough, and you know, time for us to get it back and send it over to college for approval and things like that. Which is why, you know, for if you are handling stuff to do with catering, I'd suggest, you know, picking your caterers sometime in Christmas, and then, you know, as soon as term starts, you get in contact with them, you hold tasting sessions and stuff like that to figure out, like, you know, what kind of stuff you want to serve throughout the hackathon, and also send them the catering request form as soon as you have confirmed them as a caterer for IC Hack. Oh boy, that's a mouthful. I think like the main thing to take away with this is that because we're going to be buying and ordering a lot of stuff and things are going to be delivered, making sure that the delivery address and the billing address are both correct. We don't want to just put Imperial College as the delivery address because Imperial College has 3 separate campuses. Can you imagine we ordered, you know, 1,000 t-shirts and then it all just ended up at the White City campus? I feel like, you know, that would be a bit too far for us to bring 1,000 t-shirts over. So this is why it's very, very important to check the delivery address so that it's coming to the South Kensington campus. And it's also important to check the billing address to make sure that we can submit it to our union for payment, because if the billing address isn't correct, they can't process the payment, obviously. I think this thing as well that we always like kind of leave to the last minute, I think that'll be like mistake 6, 5 or 6, something like that. That is sticking up signs throughout the entire campus for IC Hack. We usually leave this for Friday setup, which is fine, but we always forget what signs we need and we end up having to handwrite them. But that also takes time because like, if you handwrite them, we also need to laminate them, and laminating takes time. And if you don't laminate it and it's rainy and very stormy, the signs will either come down or the ink will run. Yeah, that's like a major thing that people on branding should design and think of before Friday setup. We always have it labeled like, oh yeah, well, let's think about it, but then people end up getting sidetracked with other things, so it kind of ends up on the back burner and then no one ends up doing it, and then it comes to Friday and there's 3 people rushing around trying to stick up signs wherever there is space. It's going to be around this time that any sponsors that we have, you're going to send them a little pack of like, you know, what to expect for like, you know, if they're coming on the day, if they're coming for the sort of like prep session a few days before, just so that they know what to expect at the hackathon. They know like how to interact with the students and how to engage with them really thoroughly and things like that. You know, just how to make the most of it whilst they're there. A few sponsors do actually end up staying on campus overnight. That is very cool because they do come to karaoke and like bar night and stuff like that. But also it can get very tiring for them, especially if they have to be in work for Monday morning. Showing them about how to make it really enjoyable and also like how to utilize, you know, everything that IC Hack has to offer so that they're not burnt out by Sunday. Oh yeah, so around this time is also when we're going to be like, you know, double checking that we have everything booked, that we have access to the buildings that we need to go to like during that weekend, because Imperial does limit access outside of working hours. So if we don't have permission, then we won't be able to go back in and we're going to have to pester security to let us in. There have been times when the power has just completely cut off in QTR because there was just so much like electricity being used, which is why it's also like kind of good to know where like the estate people are so that they can help get the power back up for the hackathon to run. Branding and hacker experience. Well, they're all busy. Yeah, all the teams are busy at this time. This is like at their peak busy time because it's going to be a lot of designing stuff, a lot of decision making, a lot of ordering, a lot of just processing things and, you know, making sure that things are on track. This is a lot of doing instead of talking, which is really, really busy. If you are a lead organizer, then you do have to kind of spread yourself along with all these teams just to like keep track of, you know, what's going on with everyone, what do they need help with, do they need any assistance when it comes to like things like this. So for example, with the lanyards, it took me 6 minutes to walk into campus, and during that 6 minutes, I did not have internet. As soon as I had internet, I was flooded with messages being like, Andy, what do we do? Like, we don't have lanyards, what do we do, what do we do? And I'm like, okay, it's fine, just find another supplier. And you know what, this whole situation is like a bit too much, so I'll just like delegate it over to like the other lead organizer to handle. That worked out well. Also during this time, I had to make a couple of big transactions as well. But it's just a lot of buying things and fixing things and just making sure things are being done. You know, the usual stuff. It's a bit of a segue. So those of you who have seen my video, or rather know me in person, know that I am obsessed with K-pop, and I am also very much part of the K-pop society that we have at Imperial. It was during this time that we were preparing for our first ever competition. So along with IC Hack, I also had to figure out times that I could turn up to rehearsals for our competition prep. I felt like that was too much to handle for me, especially with everything going on, because IC Hack is such a monumental task. I was having difficulty with just doing that and my degree, but then throwing in the competition in the mix, I was just like, yep, I can't breathe. Damn, that was intense. That was a very intense period in my life. But also the most fun, I must say. It was all exhilarating. This entire sort of week that went by, just fully exhilarating, because everything is going to place, everyone is the cog that they are, everyone is doing something, everyone is just geared up, ready to go. We have shifted into 3rd or 5th, one of those. We have shifted into one of the upper gears, and we are going very, very quick. Alright, I'll see you in the next episode. Take care. See ya!